Hey everyone, my name is Slothcakes and welcome back to another episode of Quick Look Tutorials. Now today in the hangar we have the Nemo. Now the Nemo is a event suit. And I just want to tell you guys this is very important. Please do the events so you can get this guy. Just because once the event is over, he's lost. It's gone forever. There's very few exceptions that this happens to, but just do the events so you get this dude so you don't need to worry about it in the future. I'm gonna say this for every single event, so sorry about that. But anyways, let's go into the lore. The first thing I want to note is how it says Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam. It's really nice that it says that because with the Rick Dios and the Hyzak that just came out, we're slowly moving towards Zeta Gundam, which has some of my favorite suits. But anyways, enough of that. It's the Zeta Gundam's version of the GM. It's a mass production mobile suit. It's an all-arounder that doesn't have a specific task, but it can do good in many tasks. It's a great suit lore-wise, and gameplay-wise it fits that bill. It's good at many things, but not amazing at one. Now for the stats. The Nemo is a level 1, 400 cost, ground and space general type. And for its stats, the only two noticeable things besides being all around good stats with good resistance towards ballistic and beam and pretty okay health is his very low melee resistance at 4. This is very dangerous towards heavy raid types that could really do some damage to you. But also we're looking at some good range boost at 30, meaning the Nemo can play it safe and keep at a distance. Now for enhancements, we're looking at 1220 being the max, but thankfully, the most important one's at 480, which gives you the extra part slots. Now for part slots, we're looking at 8, 13, and 7, and for builds, here's a build I have. It's for sustain, more health, more thrusters, that's just how I like to play, guys. But because the Nemo is an all-arounder, you can build them range, you can do damage, you can build a melee if you wanted to be more aggressive. Just if you're being a little more aggressive and up close, do note about the melee resistance, and you could take some serious damage if you get hit. But now, moving on to the skills. The Nemo has some pretty good skills. Now we're looking at average things, nothing really noteworthy. We're looking at 2 melee swings, high performance balancers, a dodge roll, but what's really interesting is all the aerial skills. We're looking at leg shock absorbers, quick boost, glide structures. The Nemo can take into the air and just surprise people, which I'm going to show you guys in a second. But anyways, enough of that intro, let's jump into this and show what this guy can do. Alright, hopping right in, I do want to take note about his shield. He does have a shield with 3,500 health, and it is a large one, so that's nice. But now moving on to movement, as you see the Nemo's walk speed isn't that bad, forward and back is alright. Thrusters, he has good thrusters, not too speedy, but they don't deplete that fast, and he has a dodge roll, so it's nice. And that should cover about his speed. For turning wise, he's not very fast, but not very slow, so that's pretty good. All around good movement, pretty average, maybe a little bit above average. But now let's move on to his melee weapon, which is average. It is a Federation beam saber. Left and right swings are pretty normal, forward and back is the exact same thing you've seen a million times by now. But, it's gonna be like that. Even though we're in the Zeta generation now, the melee swings for Federation suits are probably going to still stay the same, except for very few ones. Now let's talk about the thrusters. Just because the Nemo has a few skills that make it better at using its thrusters, I just want to show you guys a side-by-side comparison. We're going to be using the RX-78 Gundam, just because it's another 400 general type mobile suit. But just to show you guys, as you see they're going to boost straight up, and you see the Nemo just boosts a little bit quicker, and it has a little more airtime than the Gundam. And for this one, we're just going to boost while holding forward, and you're going to see the Nemo does boost faster, but it covers a lot more distance. The Gundam didn't pass that building, as you see the Nemo did. For his first primary weapon is the GM2 beam rifle. Now this is very similar to the Axaku's beam rifle, but we're looking at a few different things. First is a really long reload time of 17.5 seconds, so do be careful with this thing. Now for shots, it's going to take you 3.5 seconds in between shots, and if you fire 2 consecutive shots, you're going to overheat this thing. And just to tell you how good, in this case how bad the heat rating is, if you fire a shot, to make another shot without overheating your weapon, you're going to have to wait roughly 8 seconds. So that's a good amount of time, so I recommend overheat mods. Now for what it does, on a mobile suit very similar to an Axaku, you don't need to charge it, or you can't charge it. You shoot it once, it does okay to good damage, but you get a stun. You can do a lot from this. Now the basic combo with the beam rifle, as you see, you can't do this combo without overheating it. You do good damage, but you're gonna overheat your gun, so just note of that. Next primary is the GM rifle. Now we're looking at 6.5 second reload time, very fast takeout time. This is a machine gun, 30 shots per clip. You can hold down it to go full auto, but if you press the trigger once, you get a 3-round burst. Now with great range to this gun and that 3-round burst, if you pump this gun, you get excellent range and accuracy. And just to show you guys, it's gonna take half the clip, which is 15 shots, to get a stun. And if you pump this, there's a high chance you're gonna land all those shots. Now you're gonna take advantage of this great range, and at a distance, I know they're not moving, but if you get good with it, just pump those shots and you can consistently land that stun. So just keep at a distance if you want, which you can. Now moving on to some combos, this suit doesn't have that much combos in general, so I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This is some of the bottom of the barrel stuff I'm showing you. Forward swing into unload the gun. You can mix up the head Vulcans with this gun. I don't recommend doing this just because it's a little messy and they're probably gonna hit you by the time you get the stun. Just wanted to show you guys everything you could possibly do. Another thing is, if insert reason here you can't get another downswing, or if you just have a lot of range modifiers, you can unload the clip into the legs, which is an option. Now for the Hyper Bazooka modified, which is a pretty good bazooka. We're looking at a takeout time of about 1.5 seconds. In between shots, you're gonna have to wait 7 seconds, which is a little meh. And we're gonna have a long reload time of 13 seconds. However, with 12 shots per clip, that's pretty okay because it's a good amount of shots. Range is pretty nice. This is a bazooka, so there's not that much to talk about. On hit, it's gonna obviously stun, we have good splash damage. This does do good damage, plus the range modifiers makes that really good. You could do various combos with this thing, nothing complicated, very basic. Get the knockdown, shoot them in the legs with the rockets. It's very straightforward. You could shoot them and then go into head Vulcans is another thing you could do. I don't recommend doing this unless you're at a distance or you're with teammates. I just want to show you guys a bunch of things you can do. Now you can mix it up a little bit, go for head Vulcans and then go for a tackle. I'd recommend making sure the tackle kills or you have your beam saber already out. Remember what I said that this has good aerial skills? With the Nemo, you can do this with all the guns except for the last one we're going to talk about. But you can just go into the air and just shoot from above. You can do this with a rocket machine gun. It's a small thing you could do just to keep the enemies on their toes. Now for the head Vulcans, these are very simple weapons. The head Vulcans, nothing special except for one thing. We're looking at 6 seconds reload time. We're looking at a very large clip, which we're going to get into a second. But you can shoot this in the air, crouching, boosting, all that good stuff. If you hold down the trigger, your head does move up a little bit, so be cautious about the recoil. But now, we're looking at 80 shots per clip, which is pretty big, considering 50 is above average for a lot of suits. But speaking about that, if you land enough shots, you're gonna get a stun, which is pretty interesting. But it's not that practical, because if you want to stun, you're gonna have to land 50 shots. And by the time you land those 50 shots, there's a high chance the enemy is gonna turn around and smack you. So it's not that practical to do, but it's a good thing to know. In terms of combos, any weapon that stuns, you can stun them, then get the head Vulcans. You can mix it up with the rifle to increase the stun. There's not that much to talk about. The head Vulcans, a lot of suits have them. Let's move on. Moving on to its final equipable main weapon, it's a 170mm cannon, and this gun is very similar to the same gun the weapon rack has. Now for stats and numbers, we're looking at a reload time of 18 seconds, which is very long. It has good range up to here. We're gonna have to wait 4 seconds in between shots to take another one, so that's kinda long. But for a distance, as you see, we're gonna shoot this target. The reticle is white, but we can still shoot it, which is nice. That's because the shot dips a little at the end, which increases the range, and the explosion is quite big. Now we're going to be moving to the right. The second I stop is not me stopping, is the startup animation to this gun. Now, you cannot fire this in the air. If you could fire this in the air, you'll probably shoot backwards a mile, but I just wanted to show you guys. Again, treat this weapon like you treat the weapon rack's main gun, but a little bit better. On mobile suit hit, it does what exactly you expect it does. Just generally, always aim for the legs with these type of weapons. This does great leg damage. Now in terms of splash damage, right here we're not going to get the hit, but if you move just a little bit to the right, we get a stun. And that's some pretty good splash radius, and if I have to aim less with the gun, it's good in my book. Now moving on to combos, you can shoot them in the legs, forward, back swing, shoot them in the legs again. Biggest thing is to shoot them in the legs. This weapon does great leg damage, so no matter what you're doing, aim for the legs. That's very important. Now for other things, you can shoot them and unload the head Vulcans. This is just for if you're going to keep things close up. You're most likely going to be at a distance, have the height advantage, crouching and just taking shots at them. And speaking about that, I just want to show you guys this guy's crouching animation. Look at his shield. That's covering such a large portion of its body. It's at this nice diagonal where the top of its head is barely sticking out and its right arm is sticking out. It's going to be hard to hit you if you're crouching and shooting at someone. It's going to be hard for them to actually get to you and shoot back. Now, when you're crouching and zooming in, you have a damage modifier. And with this damage modifier, it takes 3 shots to cripple the RX-78. Now as you see, he's limping while doing that slow walk. His legs are broken, and that's really nice. And just to show you guys another example, if you're just standing up and zooming in, which is only 1 damage modifier, it will take you 4 shots. Now these aren't even or hard numbers just because there's so many factors, you're gonna have mods, they're gonna have mods, this could be a support type, they could have a high ballistic resistance, they could have high health. It's all factors, but I just want to show you guys it's pretty good at crippling enemies. So build some damage, build some leg damage modifiers, and you could be in business of crippling some legs. And just showing you guys with 2 shots, this shield covers good distance. I really like it. Now finally for the counter, it's nothing special, just a knee to the cockpit and a double fist to the back of the head. Anyways guys, that's the quick look for the Nemo. The Nemo is a very versatile suit, and if you're using the 170mm cannon, it really just changes the gameplay entirely. Now speaking about that cannon's the reason this video took a little longer than usual, just because I had to farm so much DP, and that cannon cost 200,000 DP in the in-game currency shop, and let's just say it took me a while to get that thing. But I hope you guys enjoy it, and remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. My name is Slothcakes. Enjoy you guys' day, and I'll see you in the next quick look.